My name is Taylor, and this is my story, a story I've never shared with anyone until now. At 33, I've lived a life that many would find shocking, but for me, it was a way to escape the pain that has haunted me since I was a child. It all started when I was just 10 years old. My uncle, someone I trusted, took advantage of my innocence. The trauma of that experience buried itself deep within me, festering and growing as I got older. I didn't know how to deal with the pain, the shame, and the confusion. I felt dirty, broken, and unworthy of love. As I grew into adulthood, I sought solace in the arms of many men. Each new encounter was a temporary escape from the darkness that consumed me. I traveled from city to city, Atlanta, Miami, New York, seeking out new experiences, new men, hoping to fill the void inside me. Some weeks, I'd be with a different man every night. I didn't care about the consequences. I just wanted to feel something other than the pain. There were times when I pushed boundaries even further. I seduced friends together, feeling a twisted sense of power and control over them. I even dated both a father and his son without either of them knowing. These were dangerous games, but they made me feel alive, if only for a moment. But deep down, I was lost. I knew I couldn't go on like this forever. Everything changed when I met my husband. He was different, kind, patient, loving. For the first time, I felt like I was worthy of something more than just a fleeting moment of pleasure. I wanted to be better for him, to leave my past behind and start fresh. But my past is not so easily forgotten. The fear of losing him because of who I was haunts me every day. How could he love me if he knew the truth? How could he look at me the same way if he knew about the men, the lies, the secrets? I couldn't carry this burden alone anymore. That's when I decided to seek help. Therapy was my lifeline. My therapist encouraged me to share my story anonymously, to unburden myself and let go of the shame. It wasn't easy, but each time I spoke about my past, I felt a little lighter, a little more free. As I continued my therapy sessions, I started to see patterns in my behavior. I realized how deeply my uncle's betrayal had embedded itself in every decision I made. The constant need to prove my worth, to feel desirable, was a way to reclaim what was taken from me at such a young age. But what I didn't realize then was that every encounter, every reckless decision was just deepening the wounds. There was one night in particular in Miami where everything came crashing down. I had just come from spending the night with a man I barely knew, a man who had been more interested in the idea of me than in who I really was. As I walked through the city streets at dawn, I felt an overwhelming sense of emptiness. The city's lights, the people heading to work, the world waking up, all of it felt distant, as though I was trapped in a nightmare I couldn't escape. That's when I knew something had to change. I couldn't keep living like this, pretending that these fleeting moments of pleasure were enough to fill the void. I had hit rock bottom, and it was time to climb out. My therapist became my anchor during this time. She encouraged me to explore the root of my behavior, to face the trauma I had been running from for so long. It wasn't easy. There were days when I wanted to give up, when the weight of my past felt too heavy to bear. But I kept going because I knew I deserved better, that I deserved to heal. One of the hardest things was confronting the guilt I felt over my past relationships. I had hurt people, deceived them, and manipulated them into seeing only what I wanted them to see. But I also had to accept that I wasn't the only one to blame, that the trauma I experienced had set me on this path, and that my healing had to involve forgiving myself as much as seeking forgiveness from others. As I opened up more in therapy, I also began to open up more to my husband. I didn't tell him everything, at least not yet, but I started to share pieces of my past. The fear that he would leave me was always there, but each time I shared something new, he responded with love and understanding. It was then that I realized I had found something truly special, something worth fighting for. But the journey isn't over. Healing is a process, and it's one I'm still navigating every day. There are moments when the past feels too close, when the memories threaten to pull me back into that dark place, but I remind myself of how far I've come, of the strength I've found within myself. My message to anyone who reads this is one of hope and encouragement. No matter how deep the pain or how daunting the journey, there is always the possibility for healing and transformation. Reach out for support, take care of yourself, and believe in your capacity to grow and heal.